Hi guys, welcome back to Darn It Dani. So today we are going to do just a basic dishcloth. We're going to do it in half double crochet, which if you don't know how to do the half double crochet, I will leave the link up here above, but it is covered in my tutorials. So this is just a really basic dishcloth with the half double crochet stitch, just so that we can get going on a project that has all the things that we've learned so far, or some of the things that we've learned so far. So we're going to start with a simple slip knot as usual. So we're going to wrap around once and then twice. We're going to pull this loop to the back and then the front loop to the back again, and then grab, and there is our slip knot. So we're going to do our chain. Now you can do your chain however long you want for your dishcloth. You just want to make sure that it is in multiples of 2. If you are having trouble kind of getting your feel for crochet, and like I said in my previous videos, everybody kind of has their own technique, their own way to hold their hook. But one thing that really helped me when I was starting was the turn of the hook. Now, not everybody teaches this, but it helped me when I finally came across a video that did. So when you are going to wrap around, you want to turn your hook away from you. Wrap it around and then turn it towards you. That way it makes it easy to get through that stitch and pull up. Again, you're going to tilt it away, wrap around, tilt it towards you, and pull through that loop. Let me count, see how many chains we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. That should be good. Actually, I'm going to take it up a couple more. Okay, then we are going to skip our first 2 chains. We never count the chain that, or the loop that's on our hook. So we're going to skip 2 chains, 1, 2. We're going to yarn over, go into that 3rd stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop. You now have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, go through all 3 of those loops, and there's your first half double crochet. Now you're just going to half double crochet all the way to the end. Okay, and here we are at our very last stitch. So we are going to wrap around, go into that last stitch, wrap around, pull up another loop, wrap around, and go through all 3. So then we are going to chain 2, 1, 2, and turn. Now we are going to go right back into that stitch, that first stitch of our row. So we're going to yarn over, go in there, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops. Again, you're just going to go straight across while you are doing your half double crochets. And again, this is just a real easy project. I know for myself, when I started crocheting, I really wanted that instant gratification of finishing a project, which is hard when you're first learning to crochet because you don't know many stitches. You're not usually comfortable holding your hook and your yarn, and you haven't really gotten into your own personal technique. So this is a nice quick beginner project so that you can see what you have created and get that instant gratification. Once you finish a project with crochet in the very beginning, that's what gets you hooked. Once you finish one project, you kind of get a crochet high, and you want to keep going, and you want to keep challenging yourself. So I thought that this would be a good project to start with, because we've covered the half double crochet, we've covered the chain, and we've covered the slip knot. So we've covered all of the stitches and techniques that we really need to for washcloth. We're at the end again. We're going to chain 2 and turn our work. Again, go into that first stitch. And this is pretty much all there is to it, guys. You're just going to keep doing your half doubles until you reach a length that you're happy with. Now, when doing washcloths, I should let you know that you want to use something that is going to hold up, because dishcloths are, you know, we put them through a lot with the scrubbing and dishes and everything. So the best yarn really to use for a crochet dishcloth is going to be cotton yarn. You can use cotton blends, and those will work as well. You just want to be sure that it's something that is going to be easily washed and that it's going to hold up over time. Now, seeing as we learned the single and the half double and the double crochet, you really could alternate your rows. You don't have to do the half double crochet for all your rows. If you want to change it up just for practice sake even, you could do a row of half doubles and then a row of doubles and then a row of singles, and just keep alternating that way. Also, your hook size is really preference when you're doing dishcloths. I prefer my dishcloths to be more loose. I just find that they soak up the water, and they hold the suds, you know, hold the dish soap longer. When they're looser, when it's tight, it's kind of hard to get that sudsiness out of the dish rag, I find. But again, a lot of the things you're going to run into with crochet are going to be preference, and you will get to a point where you learn what those preferences are. Like, for instance, I absolutely love to work with cotton yarn. Cotton yarn is always my favorite. I love making blankets, clothes, bags, because cotton does not stretch the way acrylic will. It's more true to size, and you don't have to worry about it stretching out. So I don't know, I prefer the cotton yarn. I've done blankets with it and different things. I've done clothes for my grandbaby and my daughter, and so you'll get to a point. I don't usually like using anything smaller than a worsted weight yarn, size 4, only because I had carpal tunnel in the past. I have since had surgery on both hands, and sometimes the smaller yarn is a little bit harder on the hands, and I don't want to get carpal tunnel back again, because it was miserable, because I could not crochet to my heart's content like I normally would. So but some people, one of my very good friends, she started out crocheting, and she started right off with doilies. Now, I don't have the patience for doilies, not to mention, I don't like using like small hooks. I don't like using small yarn or thread. But although I did just purchase a tatting shuttle, which I'm sure is not going to be good for the carpal tunnel, but we shall see. Again, even though I've been crocheting for probably 12 years by now, I still like to branch out I would love to learn how to knit, but it's just not happening for me. I've tried numerous times, and I think once you get used to holding just that one hook, going into knitting with 2 needles, it just doesn't flow for me. I don't ever seem to get to a point where I'm able to just kind of do it without even looking or paying attention. It's something that just has not taken for me. And I grew up with knitting. My grandmother knitted, and she taught me how to knit every time I would spend the night, and it never stuck. It just never stuck. But I picked up a crochet hook, and that was my niche. It's gotten me through some rough times in life. It's comforting and it's calming. So I'm hoping that you guys are learning something here, in that you'll find that crochet is your niche as well, and that you enjoy it. The ideas and the possibilities of what you can create are just absolutely endless. Once you get to a point where you can kind of freestyle, that is probably the most challenging for me having a channel now. Is when I crochet, I freestyle a lot, and so I'm really, really horrible at writing down the patterns as I go. So I have a hard time recreating it exactly, which is nice because then every single one is an original. But I do have some projects that I know, like one of my best friends, she wants to make the backpack that I made, and I did not write it down. And it was one of those things I couldn't find exactly what I wanted when I looked for patterns. So I ended up creating my own. And I'll try to put a picture of that backpack in this video just so you can see that. And I do plan on eventually recreating that on the channel. And then as I go, I can write that down. But a lot of times when I freestyle, it's pretty much because I want, to get the size the right way, or I get an image in my head of what I want to create. And if I can't find a pattern exactly like that, then I kind of create it on my own. And that will come with time as you get more comfortable with crochet and the stitches. Bump in the camera, sorry guys. So this is how much we have done so far. Again, you're just going to keep going excuse me, until you reach the size for your dishcloth that you want. So if anybody has started learning how to crochet through my channel, I would love to see pictures of your work. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to send me an email. I'll put my email in the description box. And I'd love to see pictures of anything that you create. A lot of times you see something that somebody else created and it sparks an idea for something you want to create. So there's a lot of inspiration out there from your fellow crocheters. And YouTube has an amazing yarny community. So utilize that. You can pretty much look up anything on YouTube and find a tutorial. Or an idea. And with Christmas coming, this is an amazing time to learn to crochet because you can make so many things. Even just a pack of dishcloths I've given as teacher's gifts. You know, some of those gifts that you have to buy at Christmas that aren't super personal, you don't know them so well. I've done them for the bus drivers. I've done little Christmas trees. Every year I make an ornament. As you saw the other night, we had the live making the gnome ornaments, and if you missed that, or if you want to learn how to make, let me show you. These are the little gnome ornaments that we made on live stream the other night. So if you want to learn how to do those, I can link that in the description as well. But again, Christmas is an awesome time to be starting to learn crochet because there's so many things that you can make for gifts. You really can kind of find something to make for everybody. Just a little bit of imagination. I also try, I don't know that I'll be able to do it this year other than the ornaments. My kids always get ornaments every year. And I keep telling my husband we are going to need to replenish our tree because 2 of our kids are grown and out of the house. And once they moved out and we gave them all their ornaments that they received every year for Christmas to start their own trees with their own families, our tree is starting to look a little bit bare. So we're going to have to replenish those ornaments one of these years. I'm not in any hurry for my last one to leave the nest. Oh, we got a tangle. Also, if you find you make a mistake and you're, say, 3 or 4 rows past it, it's always not a necessity to go back and fix your mistake. That's one thing that makes homemade gifts special, is those little inconsistencies that you might notice. And we might, as crocheters, think of a mistake, but actually they're just a little bit of extra character. Okay, I'm going into my last row now. Again, you can keep going or you can stop where I stop. It just depends on how big you want your dishcloth to be. Again, if you have any questions with anything that you need help with, or that's not, you know, you're not quite picking up as fast as you like, please shoot me an email and I will do my best to help you out in any way that I can. And there we are at the end. So I'm going to chain 1, cut my yarn, and then all we have to do is weave in our ends. Now, you would think that weaving in your ends would be pretty self-explanatory, and it is. But I have learned, the more that I crochet, I've learned that if you don't do that securely, your work will start to, your ends will start to come out. So what I like to do is I like to go back and forth 3 times. So I'm going to go this way. And then I'm going to go the opposite way. and then I am going to go the other way again. So now that we've gone back and forth 3 times, that should be nice and secure, and it should not come out while you're using it or when you wash it. Here's the other tail end. We need to weave that in. Again, the same way. We're going to go one way. Then we're going to go the opposite way. And then back one more time. And there we are. Here is our dishcloth. It's really not as lopsided as it looks, but there we go. So if you guys have any questions, again, leave me a comment or shoot me a webmail. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell in case I post new content. You'll be notified of that. And hit that thumbs up or the thumbs down, whichever. And we will see you next time on the next video, guys. Thanks for joining me. Happy hooking!